Hello gang, it's Spirit Island time again. Today I'm going to be doing a playthrough two-handed, playing as two different spirits. That is River Surges in Sunlight and my new favourite spirit, Thunderspeaker. I'm going to be playing against the Kingdom of Brandenburg Prussia at level 1. And the only other modification I've made is that, if you're sharp-eyed you'll have noticed, I'm not playing with a blight card. I've tried playing with blight cards before. To be honest, I don't really like them. So I prefer playing the game without them, and it's as simple as that. If you want to know how to play Spirit Island, I do have a video explaining that, but without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, so we're all set up and ready to go. We have River Surges in Sunlight starting over here on board C, and Thunderspeaker starting here and here on board D. This being the Kingdom of Brandenburg Prussia as an adversary, we start with an extra town in land 3 of each part of the island. And then, of course, there's going to be a stage 2 escalation when we get to stage 2 of the invader deck. But yeah, without further ado, let's see where the invaders start exploring. So they start exploring in the jungles, which is here and here. Okay, so for River, what I really want to do is get more presence out on that part of the board. So I'm going to be taking this growth option here and basically doing the same opening that I nearly always do. Let's see, let's put a presence here and then a presence here, because that then counts as a sacred site. And then River is going to gain 2 energy for doing that, because we now have 2 energy available. And the cards we're going to play are River's Bounty and Wash Away, which also triggers the level 1 innate, so hopefully we can then push some of these invaders that have appeared. Pay 1 energy for doing that. And then let's move over to Thunderspeaker. So let's see, we're going to end up with quite a trouble land here, since they're going to build a town there next turn. I'd quite like to be looking to push these Dahan into there and do as much damage as I can with Manifestation of Power and Glory. To be able to do that, I'm going to do this growth option here so that I can get some energy and also 2 card plays. Let's put a presence in there, and I'm going to be playing those 2 cards. So I gain 4 energy for this growth option, then I gain an extra energy for gaining energy, and then I pay 3 energy for playing these 2 cards. It's going to be quite difficult keeping them separate, I can already feel. But yeah, then the game moves on and we're into the fast power phase. Well, it so happens that all of the powers I've picked are slow. So no blight card, no fear cards, no ravage, then they are of course going to build. And let's see, they're building a town here, 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 and here of course as well. And then we have invaders exploring in the mountain areas. So that's going to be a bit of a problem for River, because that's already got a town in it. So technically does that one. Okay. And there we go. Then it is the slow power phase. So if we start with River, so we've got River's Bounty and we've got Wash Away, and we also have our level 1 innate, which allows us to push some stuff. So next go, they're going to be building city here, ravage here, if we don't do something about it, which of course I want to do. Let's see. So let's start by washing these guys away into land 2. So that's playing Wash Away. River's Bounty, I can gather up to 2 Dahan into a land where I already have presence. So I'll tell you what, let's do that into here. And then doing so spawns another Dahan, which will be great for Thunderspeaker later on. And it also gains me an energy. And then I can push 1 explorer or 1 town. I mean, the temptation is to push this guy somewhere, but I don't really want them building 2 cities. Here I'm kind of setting it up for a Dahan counterattack by the looks of things. So yeah, I think I'm going to push this guy into here. and then we may just have to let this land here blight. We'll, yeah, we'll have to see. We'll see what I think of next turn, basically. Hang on, though, is that a good idea? If I leave that there, the next turn I can flash floods this. Yeah, I'll tell you what, let's push this one instead. Yeah, we'll push that into there, it will build, and then we've got the Dahan counter-attack. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, and then over here, it's fairly straightforward what we're going to do. So we're going to Voice of Thunder, pushing these two into here, and we're going to bring the presence with us. That is playing Voice of Thunder. Lovely. And then Manifestation of Power and Glory we're also going to do over here, which means, okay, so that's the first fear we get just for playing this card, and then it's 2 presence, 3 Dahan, so I get to do 6 damage, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's 2 for the city, 1 for the town. And lovely. And also, I believe these 2 cards trigger... Yes, they do. So I can destroy a town for every 2 Dahan in a target land. So if I target this land, which I absolutely can because I happen to have a presence there, I can destroy this town as well, which is nice. Okay, that is the end of the first turn. Let's see. So what's River going to want to do next turn then? So they're going to build a city over here. Sorry, they're going to ravage over here, and they're going to build a city over here. I can, as I've said, flash floods this guy. That's maybe the most tempting thing to do. What I'm going to do for River, I'm going to go for this growth option here so that I can get an extra presence on the board. We'll aim towards another card play. And then I get to gain a power card, which is going to be great fun. So where do I want to put this extra presence? I'm going to flash floods from a range of 1, and I plan on flash flooding here. So I'm going to put the presence here, although I suspect that won't last all game. And then I'm going to take a minor power card. Okay, so these are the 4 minor power cards that have come up in the deck. Not super great elements for us. We want the blue and the yellow ones particularly. This has got a blue, this has got a yellow. Gathering up to 3 Dahan and yeah, Call to Bloodshed. This is fantastic for Thunderspeaker, but now we're doing it for River. What I'm particularly looking for in this instance is something to be able to defend that land that's going to ravage. So I'm going to go for this one. It does have a blue present, a blue element, which is good for us, and it can defend too, which is, yeah, pretty good. Not the best, but pretty good. I'm going to go for this one. Okay, so that's the growth done and done. Then in terms of card plays, I'm going to be playing Flash Floods in order to take out that town down there, and I'm going to be playing the card that I just picked up. Entrancing Apparitions it's called. Right, so I need to gain 2 energy for my energy track, and then I need to be paying 3 for these 2 cards, so there we go. For Thunderspeaker, what's going on here? So I have Sudden Ambush and Words of Warning in my hand. They're going to ravage here. Words of Warning can defend 3, but it needs to have a Dahan in the target land. I could play Sudden Ambush to gather a Dahan from there into there, and then play Words of Warning. Don't hugely like playing 2 cards just to sort out 1 individual land, but that may well be what I do this turn, and just focus on trying to get some presence on the board. So I'm going to go for this growth option here, so I can add a presence. I'm going to go for air and then this one. But I can only add presence to lands with Dahan in them, so I'm going to add 1 here, and I'm going to add 1 over here. Then I'm going to gain my 1 energy, and then I'm going to play these 2 cards, which cost 3 energy, so this guy is then out of energy. But yeah, then we move on to the fast powers, and now by sheer coincidence, every single piece that I've played is indeed fast power. So, flash floods. I'm going to flash floods this guy. 2 damage over there. That's that done. Get a fear. Lovely. And then I'm also going to entrancing apparitions onto this land here. I've forgotten my tokens. I've left them in the box. Sorry. We're just going to have to remember that that is defending 2 onto that land over there. I think that's fairly obvious. Okay, that does also trigger the innate, but the innate's a slow power, so we'll get onto that when we get onto the slow power phase. Then over here, yeah, I'm going to be, so you may gather 1 Dahan. I'm going to gather into this land here. I'm going to gather this Dahan. Yeah, we'll keep those 2 together. We'll gather that Dahan. Hold up. We've got 3 purple. This does trigger this innate, which allows me to move some Dahan around. So yeah, I'll move that guy in there, take the presence with him. He's then going to kill one of those, just because that's what sudden ambush does. And then I'm going to be playing Words of Warning on this land here, which defends it by 3. So that is actually all lands defended. And this is played. So yeah. Okay, so Invaders' turn. Still no fear card, although we are getting very close. They're then going to Ravage. So ravaging over here, nothing happens. They're attacking with 3, we're defending with 2, so it's not quite enough to destroy anything, but also no counterattack. Here nothing happens, here nothing happens, and here the Dahan just kills this, plain and simple, and we get a fear for that. Good old Dahan, well done. Okay, that's Ravage. Then they are going to build. So let's see, they're building another town over there, even though I just destroyed one. 1 over here, and 2 more over here. Need to start preventing some of these builds by the look of things. And then they're exploring the sands. Let's see, so this could be a troubled land for River. Yep, they do get here, they do get here, and yes, there we go. Okay, and then we continue with the slow power phase. So here it's basically just our innate powers. So River can push 1 town or city, let's see. So they're going to ravage here, and we could take a blight, and it's set up for a Dahan counterattack. We'd lose a presence, which is a bit unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. They're also going to ravage over here. And then let's see, building here, building here. As tempting as it is to just move that guy, I think the best thing to do is to move this guy. And normally I'd go into here, but then they're just going to build a city next go, and I'd rather they just built a town instead, because towns are a lot easier to destroy. I'm actually going to push it into here, which sort of goes against what you normally do as River. You normally try and push stuff towards the coast. But yeah, I'm going to do that. Do let me know in the comments if you would have done something differently. And then for Thunderspeaker, I get this innate power, gather the warriors. So I can gather 1 Dahan for each purple, which I have these 2 plus this one is 3, and then I can push a Dahan for each yellow, which is only 1. So where do I want the Dahan next go? Let's see. I kind of need to bank on the fact that I'm going to get some kind of defend card, because they're going to ravage here and here, which I don't like at all. So I can gather 3 Dahan. I'm just going to gather these 3 then into here, and then take the presence with them. And then I'm not going to push any Dahan. Okay, because next go I'm going to be reclaiming cards, and then I can pick up 2 power cards. Hopefully at least one of them is a defend. Yeah, so that's the end of that turn. Then it's the growth phase again. So for River, I'm going to be reclaiming the cards, which also gains me an energy, and it gains me an extra power card. So let's have a look at those. Okay, for River, these are the minor power cards that have come up on the deck. To be honest, none of them really excite me. Gift of Power is quite fun because then you get minor power cards quite regularly. The elements aren't really there for River. There's a couple of blue, there's the one yellow here. What I'm actually going to go for is Call of the Dahan Waves, because then we can replace an Explorer with a Dahan, which is going to make Thunderspeaker more powerful. So that's the one that I'm going to go for in this case. And for Thunderspeaker, the growth option I'm taking is to reclaim cards, and then I get to take 2 power cards. These are the 4 minor power cards that have come up. They do look quite interesting. I was looking for a defend, but I think I can do slightly better than this. Because also that's just a defend 1, and what I'm looking to defend at the moment is a mountain. Reaching Grasp I do quite like. The elements would have been absolutely perfect for River, but the elements are still actually quite good for Thunderspeaker as well. However, I do like being able to move Dahan around in the fast power phase with Thunderspeaker, which both of these cards are very able to do. Elements are slightly better here in that you have both a yellow and a purple, and also it's free, whereas here you can push a little bit more Dahan, but then also each Dahan does 1 damage to a different invader. This only works in sacred, in lands where I have presence as well and without blight, whereas this one has to be in lands with Dahan. Yeah, I mean that one would be lands with Dahan anyway. Let's just see. I quite like the idea of being able to push up to 3 Dahan, and then also, yeah, if not, then I can do 1 damage to each different invader. So that's 1 minor power card. Let's see what the other one gets us. Uncanny Melting, which is actually part of River's what's the word? Power progression deck. Not particularly useful here. This is exactly what I'm after. Defend 5, no energy. Has to be in a place where I have presence, but that's absolutely fine. Call to 10 is also very good. Remove a blight or push up to 3, and then elemental boon as well. I need a defend card, so I'm going to go for this one. It's defend 5. It doesn't cost any energy. That's what I'm going for. Okay, so that's the spirit growth phase. River's turn. Which cards are we going to be playing? So we're going to gain 2 energy. So we've got 4 energy to play with, which isn't a huge amount. So Ravage here, but that's fine. That's taken care of. Here, I think we can we could defend 2, or we could just accept the blight, which I think might be more sensible in this circumstance. What I'm going to do, I'm going to play Boon of Vigor, just because I know that Thunderspeaker is going to be very low on energy pretty soon. I mean, she already is, but yeah, and we'll play a Wash Away as well. I'm still only on 2 card plays. I really want to open up that 3rd card play, well, preferably next turn as well. That does also trigger the innate power again. So that costs 1 energy, so there we go. Thunderspeaker only has 1 energy to play with at the moment, so what do we have then? We're going to play that defend card, which costs 0. So let's see, I can't play this one, can't play this one, because they got too much energy demands. So let's see, I could have each. If in the fast power phase I can do a damage to him, then he's not going to be able to build, which I quite like. So yeah, that's what I'm doing over there. That conveniently costs 1 energy. Okay, and that only triggers this innate, so there's a little bit of moving Dahan around afterwards, but not a crazy amount. Okay, so fast powers. So River is going to play Boon of Vigor on Thunderspeaker, so Thunderspeaker is then going to gain 2 energy because she's playing 2 cards. Over here, let's see, we're defending this land here, and over here we're going to, each Dahan deals 1 damage to a different invader. There's only 1 invader there, 2 Dahan. That is then doing that, which is lovely. Okay, then we have Still no fear cards, although we're very, very close to it. Then we have the Ravage. So over here, they're going to Ravage. He's basically just going to die in the Ravage. Over here, however, they are going to Blight. And also, so 3, they're killing a Dahan and wounding 1, which also destroys the presence. And we get a Blight over there as well. However, they're going to counterattack, which gets us our last fear, which means that we finally unlocked the first fear card of the game. Okay, over here they're ravaging as well, which also just blights the land. That's not particularly good. But over here we have defended it, which is good because there's already a blight here. The Dahan are then going to counterattack, and they're going to completely wipe these guys out. Okay, and that's the ravage done. Then they're going to build. So building in the sand here and here. And here they're not building, but they are building over here. Okay. They've not been able to build any cities so far on either map, which is very good. But pretty soon we've got actually right now, in fact, we've got level 2 coming. So the level 2 escalation here. Before exploring, on each board with a town or a city, add 1 town to a land that doesn't have towns. So let's see, they are going to end up exploring the the mountain areas. So let's go here and here then, and then they're going to explore the mountains as per usual, like this and like this and like this and like this. And there we go. Okay, then it is the slow power phase. All we really have here is wash away. So let's see. Then they're gonna, they're gonna ravage here. I don't like that. So we're gonna wash these guys into here. That's wash away, and then we have the slow, the innate powers. So pushing one of them or one of them. Let's see. Let's push this guy into here before he starts building stuff. They're going to ravage there anyway and destroy that presence. That's absolutely fine. Worse things happen. Yeah, and then over here I also have this innate where I can gather 2 Dahan, not push any. So they are going to end up building over here. But they're going to ravage here next go, and I don't particularly like that. We do have the words of warning, but I need to put some Dahan into here. So we're going to gather these 2 Dahan into there and take 2 presents with me. I can only gather 2 because it's gather up to 1 Dahan per purple element that you've played. And I've only played 1, but I have a second one up here. So yeah, that sets that up quite nicely for the counterattack next turn. But yeah, they are going to end up building a city here, which I don't like at all. Right, then time passes, and we're on the next spirit growth phase, and River really, really, really needs to be getting more presence on the board. So I'm going to go for this one here. Let's see, so I will put 1 presence. Let's see, I don't have any big defend cards that could defend this one in the future. No. So let's see. I mean, I've got reasonably good coverage everywhere there. I'll go over there just to keep coverage at that side. And I'll also put a presence here as well. I would like to start expanding River over here soon, but we're not quite ready for that yet. Gain 2 energy, and then it's time to play some cards. I can reclaim 1. I'm going to reclaim Wash Away. So that needs to go on a discard pile. And then River has 5 energy to play with. Let's see, they're going to ravage here, which you might as well forget about. Then they're going to build here, so I can flash floods that guy. And then actually try and see what I can do to help Thunderspeaker as well. Let's see, I will play Wash Away. I might as well try and play, now I can play 3 cards, I might as well try and do this, where I can do 2 damage and push up to 3 dudes. So yeah, I'll also play River's Bounty, because then we can spawn some Dahan, and also do the level 2 innate. See, 3 energy paid, so Thunderspeaker's turn, again only gaining 1 energy. But which of these am I going to go for? I like to think of this working backwards and start with which cards do I want to play. So I'm going to be playing Words of Warning to defend this land and then counterattack over there. Yeah. I mean, it would be great to be able to do some proper damage over here before it's sort of too late. Is there going to be a way of doing that? So if I were to play Manifestation of Power and Glory and do this one, then yeah, I could do that, which gets me the extra energy. But would I be able to move enough stuff into there? Yes, I would actually. Okay, right. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing this growth option here. So I'd get an extra energy because I'm now at 2, not that. Not 1. Then I gain my 4 energy for this, and I'm also going to tell you what, instead of taking 1 from there, so I'll put that back, I'll take a 3rd one and then place this over here, and I'm also going to go for I'll go Sudden Ambush because I've got a sudden bout of energy. So that's a 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Sorry that's a bit messy, but I am thinking as I'm going here, so that's just the way it is. Okay, so anyway, fast power time. So River is going to flash floods something. Let's see, I believe the intention was to flash floods here before he builds, but is there really any point in doing that? Not really, but you might as well, haven't you? There you go. That's flash floods done. Words of Warning, I'm going to defend over here. There we go. And then we're going to sudden ambush this guy before he builds as well. There we go. And that's that. And then we have our first fear card of the game. In each land, defend 1 per Dahan. That's not especially useful for me. Well, it would have been useful over here, but I've already played the defend card, so the net effect isn't especially useful to me. But whatever, it's nice to have a fear card at least. Then they're going to ravage, and here we're going to take quite a lot of damage. So that's done. Ravaging here, nothing happens. Here, nothing happens. Here, these guys end up destroying him, and that's that. Then they are going to build. Here's nothing, here's nothing, here's nothing. Here they're building a city. Don't like that. Yeah, I've played that as well, haven't I? Okay. What's the plan in a minute then? Okay, yeah, so I'm going to get those in there. And then I can do, yeah, 6 damage. Okay, right. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually quite clever. Right, sorry about that. So yeah, that's the build. Then they're going to explore, and they're exploring the wetlands, but first it's the escalation. So I need to put one of these on each board. We'll put one here in the sand, and we might as well actually put this one here. For reasons that I'll explain in just a minute. Okay, then they're of course going to explore the wetlands as well. Yep, you can still reach here, reach here, you can reach here, and this is all. So 3 of the wetland lands have already got a town in them, so I don't really like the look of that, because they're going to end up building 6 different towns later. Oh, sorry, 3 different cities later. Okay. Anyway, now it's the slow power phase. Yeah, and I also have the innate power here of doing 2 damage and destroying and moving up to 3, knowing full well that next turn they're going to cause some havoc, or at least build some cities in the wetland areas. So with first, I'm going to play Wash Away. I'm going to wash these guys into here, stop them from building that city. Here, I'm going to play River's Bounty. I'm going to grab those 2, which spawns a Dahan and gains River and Energy, which is nice. Then you've got River's Innate Power, doing 2 damage and pushing up to 3. From a range of 1 of a Sacred Site. Remember, this is a Sacred Site for River, so I'm going to do 2 damage on this board, so that's that. And then I can push up to 3, so we might as well push this guy over here. That's River done. Then over here, now here's the thing. I did actually trigger both of these powers, and I could have actually done them both in the fast power phase because we've got 3 purple there and a purple here. So I could have done both of these in the fast power phase, but through a combination of forgetting and also being extremely wise, I haven't done that. What is extremely wise is this one here, destroy 1 town for every 2 Dahan in target land. Here I got 2 Dahan and we just put a town in there from the escalation. So that town wouldn't have existed in the fast power phase. So sometimes being forgetful is actually quite a good thing. I can also gather up to 1 Dahan per purple dude, and I'm going to be gathering into here. I'm going to be gathering these 2. Oh, I didn't think about that. I can also gather this guy as well. Yeah, okay. And then I'm going to be taking these 2. And yeah, I'm not going to be pushing. I could push 2 from there as well, but I'm not going to do that. Then I'm going to be playing Manifestation, Power and Glory, which gains me 1 of these. And then I'm going to be doing 9 damage in here. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And when I pushed from here into here, I should really have gone into there. I'm going to retrospectively do that. And then he's then dead as well. I don't hugely like doing things retrospectively, but that doesn't really affect anything. Destroyed a city, destroyed a town. That actually gets me another fear card, which is, oh, sorry. Well, I didn't have time to read what that said, so you're just going to have to live with me there. Okay, so time has passed, spirit growth phase time. So for River, let's see, they're going to ravage here and here, which is fine. They're going to build a town over here, which isn't the end of the world. Ravage here and here, which is fine. Build here is fine, and ravage, build a city over here, which I don't particularly like, but we'll look at that in a second. So for River, I've only got 2 cards on hand. I really like to get that open so I can do a 4th card play. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go for this one again. So I'm going to place a presence at a range of 2, which opens up a 4th card play. I can reclaim a card because of this, and then I can also gain a power card as well. So let's do this at range of 2, and we'll go all the way over here. Yeah. Then the card I'm going to reclaim is actually going to be River's Bounty, because then I can gather some Dahan here and actually spawn more Dahan, which I'm hoping that Thunderspeaker will be able to use. Then I'm going to be gaining a minor power card, which will be great fun, and hopefully I gain one with a yellow element on it, because then I've triggered this innate. Well, the level 2 innate. So let's have a look at what power cards come up. Right, these are the 4 cards that have come up. What I'm looking at again is primarily elements, so we're quite lucky that 3 of them have got the yellow one, which would allow us in this turn to play our level 2 innate. Not 100% sure what to go for of them. This doesn't look particularly appealing, not just because of that, but sure, you get 2 fear, but I don't really see the attraction of it. I'm going to go for Gift of Living Energy, just because Thunderspeaker is always so low on energy, and we can use this card to help Thunderspeaker with that. So let's go for that. Okay, and at that point it's fairly straightforward. I've got 4 cards in my hand. Yeah, they do trigger this innate, and then I'm going to be paying the 2 energy to be able to play them. For Thunderspeaker, I'm going to be reclaiming cards and then gaining 2 power cards. So let's have a look at those. Yeah, these are the 4 that have come off the top of the minor power deck. I mean, Call to Migrate is just fantastic for Thunderspeaker. Being able to gather up to 3 Dahan and then push them as well. You can really move around the board very, very quickly and easily with that. The others could be interesting, but this card I just think is way too strong for Thunderspeaker. For the other card, I'm going to go for a major power because, well, you might as well, hadn't you? So let's have a look at what we've got. Let's see. For each Dahan in target land, 1 damage and defend 2. I mean, wow, that sounds fantastic, doesn't it? And only 2 energy. 2 fear, push up to 4 of them. Okay. 4 damage, remove 1 blight. Okay, and then Power Storm. Target spirit gains 3 energy. I mean, this just looks fantastic, doesn't it? So that's a power energy 2. That's absolutely fine. Then I'm going to need to discard one of my other cards, and I'm actually going to be discarding the Veil the Knight's Hunt that I picked up earlier, purely because I think that this Call to Migrate is a better card for moving Dahan around. Okay, and then let's see, Thunderspeaker gains an energy, and then we've only got 2 energy to work with and up to 3 card plays. So I'm going to be playing Call to Migrate and also Voice of Thunder to properly move some Dahan around. The other cards I have, the only ones I could play would involve too much energy, or the ones I could play that I do have energy for are basically defend cards, and I don't really have the need for those at the moment. So I'm just going to be playing the 2 cards instead of the 3. Okay, so that's a spirit growth phase. Then it is the fast power phase. So Gift of Living Energy. River is going to play this card on Thunderspeaker, so target spirit gains 1 energy, plus another one if target spirit is not yourself. If you have at least 2 sacred sites, then target spirit gains another energy. So this is actually working out pretty well. If only he could have done that last time, then I'd have some really interesting cards that I'd be able to play. Anyway, he's also going to be defending 2, but there's basically nowhere to defend. If no invaders are present, gather up to 2 invaders. So, I could do that. So, yeah, okay. So I'm going to play this on this land here, and we're going to gather if no invaders are present. So on this land here, we're going to gather that guy. And that's as simple as that. No fast ones over here. Don't quite trigger either of those as fast powers. Yeah, so then it is their go. Let's see, Fear card. Each player may push 1 explorer into a land with more towns or cities than the land it came from. Oh, may push 1 explorer, so it's only explorers that we can push, and it has to be into a land with more stuff from where it came from. And it specifically has to be an explorer. We can't push a town. So we can push him in there. Don't really see the point in doing that, but there we go. And Thunderspeak, I mean, there's not really anywhere else that you can push over here. So that's that, I'm afraid. Not a particularly useful fear card. Okay, there you go. Ravage in the mountains. That's not doing anything at all. They're then building a city over here, which is the only building that they're doing except for the escalation. Oh, but there's no escalation. They're exploring the coastal lands. That makes things interesting, doesn't it? Okay. Right. Okay. Then, yes, slow power phase next then. So, let's see. Call of the Dahan ways, replace an explorer with a Dahan. But I can only play this in a land with Dahan that's one away from presence. So the most useful place to play this would be over here. I can replace that with one of them. Not that that's especially useful. Those Dahan are basically in a corner, not really doing very much. River's Bounty, though, I can gather 2 Dahan. I can, at a range of 0 from him. Okay. So I could, for example, that's not quite as useful as I was hoping it would be. So I can gather 2 into here. That takes 1 presence with him. And then that spawns another Dahan, which is at least good, and it gains River an extra energy. River also has this, so yes, it does. Instead, do 2 damage and push up to 3 thingies. So we might as well stop them building a city over here. I think that makes the most sense. So do 2 damage and push 3 of them. We're going to push all of them into there. Where they're going to build another city, but we're going to do level 3 and 8 there next turn. So something to look forward to there. Then it is Thunderspeaker's turn. So let's see, call to migrate. Well, we're going to call to migrate these 3 into this land and take all 3 of the presents with them. We're also then going to push these 3 into here and again take all 3 presents with them. So that's now 4 presents that are in there. That was that one. I'm then going to Voice of Thunder, which means I can push up to 4 Dahan and bring 4 presents with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're gearing up for a very good turn next turn. Innate power, so I don't quite trigger that one because I don't have enough yellow, but I can actually move some more Dahan around. I can gather up to 3 Dahan. So here they're going to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if I get a proper defend, do I have a good enough defend there? Yeah, well, I've got 2. So yeah, I've got 2 I can use there. That's actually going to be taken out by the Dahan counterattack. So yeah, I'm going to gather this one into here. And then, because I can push for each yellow that I have a yellow, so I'm going to push that into there. Okay. There we go. These, I believe, are still in my hand. Whereas these go in the discard.